This one is about being abducted by aliens. Do you guys like that intro? So I don't know. I just have been trying to come up with ideas for videos to try and get people into my channel. And I guess I'll talk about my abduction experiences. And yes, I have been abducted, quote unquote, but they were not bad abductions, and I've been abducted, quote unquote, 3 times. So the first time I was sleeping in my friend's backyard. I don't think I've ever talked about this in another video. But I was sleeping in my friend's backyard, I took my sleeping bag out in his backyard, and I started meditating and was on my back, and the whole time there was this helicopter that was circling this neighborhood that I was in. And mind you, this is a really, really nice neighborhood and a really nice town in general. There wouldn't be any kind of police chase or anything like that. Not that it would be very rare, let's put it that way. So I get into a really deep state, and I get into a sleep paralysis state, and I feel my body start lifting off of the ground. And I don't know if it was my full body or if it was just my light body, or one of my light bodies or something, but I could see the ground getting farther and farther away from me, and my body was lifting off, and I could see the fence going by me as I was coming off the ground. And then I don't remember what happened up at the top, and I don't know how long I was gone, to be honest. And then I remember coming back down vertically and into that spot where I was sleeping. And and then when I got back down, I kind of came out of that sleep paralysis state, and the dog in the backyard with me was barking really, really loud, and barking at nothing, basically. It was kind of creepy, but at the same time, to be expected. And it was I don't say abducted, because it was really a CE5 meditation I did outside, and I was intentionally sleeping outside to be in the auric field of extraterrestrials, and a similar experience happened to me when I was on a road trip. I originally drove from Fort Collins down to Corpus Christi, Texas, and then I was on my way from Corpus Christi, Texas, all the way to Los Angeles. And I was on the border of Texas and Mexico, and in this little tiny small ass town on the side of the highway, on the border highway. And I found this really cool rock outcropping. It looked almost like a castle. It's kind of like one of those hills that they go up, and then the hill goes up, and then all of a sudden there's this big rock, circular kind of rock outcropping at the top of the hill, and I was able to climb on top of that and did the same thing. I brought out my sleeping bag, really majestic looking, the Majestic 12 looking, it was a really majestic, really beautiful starry night, and I was able to meditate underneath the stars and do a CE5 and ask Vector and some ET craft to come and join me, and I can feel them and see their auras sometimes, and see the aura of a craft even I've seen land on top of me, and it's like a dematerialized craft, but I can see the different light spectrums. The light will change, and also the feeling, starts feeling warm and very loving, and same thing happened where I was lifted off the ground in the middle of the night after getting into a really deep meditative state, or maybe even falling asleep. But I wouldn't really call it falling asleep, because it's different. But yeah, being lifted off the ground vertically, and then not remembering what happened on the other side, and then being put back, and didn't feel any negativity from it at all. And then the most recent time, though, let me tell you about that. The most recent time, I might have talked about this in another video, but I was up in Washington State, and if you've seen my video about meeting Sasquatch in Tennessee, well, I definitely was. I mean, like Seattle is like the number one spot, or the Pacific Northwest is like number one spot for Sasquatch, right? So I went up there. I was also born up there, so I think me meeting them probably had something to do with that too. Just the energy that I was around as a child probably helped. But this one night, I pulled my sleeping bag out and slept out underneath this big like elm tree in near Seattle, and oh my gosh, I saw so many craft on that trip when I was up there. It was crazy. Like this one night, I was actually with this drunk guy, and like he walked up to where I was like camped at, and we just started talking. I started talking about extraterrestrials and stuff, and I was like, dude, come over here, we'll do a C5 together, like after it was all said and done. He's like, okay. And he's like slamming vodka, and then I was not expecting this at all, but we saw like so many craft. We saw like probably like 10 ships that night, maybe even more than that, and one of them I think was like the twin ships we talk about in CE5, where there's like two ships that are flying in tandem. Like there's two big orbs that fly very slowly in tandem like that across the sky. And those were very, very low and very, very bright. And I've seen that twin ships before, but I haven't ever seen it that close and that bright. So that was really cool. And there was like some random ass drunk dude next to me. Maybe he was an ET in disguise, you never know. Could have been. But anyway, at that same spot, I think like another night, maybe like the next night or the night after that, I brought my sleeping bag out and slept underneath the tree, and I remember it was like I was in a dream where I was shooting a bunch of people in like a Call of Duty. It was like Call of Duty, if you can imagine like looking at a first person shooter, and like, but it definitely felt like a video game to me. And then all of a sudden the video game paused, and then it said, "You don't want to kill anybody, do you?" And I was like, no, not at all. And then I was in that same state, like the sleep paralysis state, and then I started being lifted off the ground. And this time I did get to see what was on the other side. And I woke up inside of this, it looked like a seamless white oval room, and which I assume was an ET craft. And all of a sudden I started hearing all these space noises. Like it sounds so cheesy when I describe it like that to people, but yeah, it sounded just like laser noises and like like some crazy like ET shit coming through, and then I saw this beautiful like blue and pink light start illuminating the edge of the craft, and like went in a circle around the craft, and then came to the middle and illuminated this dash that was in front of me, like these two screens. And then I started being conscious of it and realized like, oh my god, I'm on a craft right now. Oh my god, this is so cool. And then I think because my emotions started getting kind of out of whack, they lowered me back down to the ground. I was like, no. But yeah, so I haven't spent the night outside since then. I don't know why. Just because a lot of shit's been going down and happening around in my life and stuff. But yeah, I look forward to doing it more, and I'm sure it has been offered to me already. But yeah, I'll keep you guys informed. Yeah, keep clearing your vessel and communicating with those angels. Bye, guys.